A lot of women today act like escorts. If a man has to pay you for your time in order to go out with you, you're an escort, okay? Because us regular girls are not charging men money to take us out on a date.
Everyone's pointing fingers in modern dating, but nobody wants to admit the system itself is broken.
Y'all, I think modern women ruin dating, and here's why. Let's get into it. Hookup culture. Women giving their bodies away to men that have not committed to them on any level. They've made relationships transactional, not being realistic. Now the majority of women want the minority of men, using tactics of shame and emasculating men to manipulate them in doing what they want them to do. Some men now are choosing to go their own way, not even trying to date in this modern dating culture. Ain't that a shame? A lot of good men not dating because they don't see value in this modern dating culture.
Modern dating isn't failing because of one side, it's failing because expectations and behavior are completely out of sync. People want traditional benefits with modern freedom, and that contradiction keeps blowing everything up. You can't have stability and chaos in the same package.
A growing number of women in the US seem to believe that they're temporarily embarrassed aristocrats, and it's driving a lot of their dating failures. And this isn't entirely unique to women, of course. Steinbeck's quote about all Americans believing that they're temporarily embarrassed millionaires, obviously applies to everyone on some level. But I do think it's specifically true for women in the dating market. There's a trope in movies of the rich guy marrying the poor girl and turning her into the wealthy woman she was always meant to be. And I think a lot of women then assume that is the goal of dating. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think you should prioritize a guy who's financially stable, ambitious, etc., but that is a far cry from thinking, I'm basically just the wife of a billionaire, I'm so close, I'm just missing the billionaire part. And some women are even explicit about this. They actually make content about how to bag a rich man or how to hang out at places that wealthy men hang out at. So while there's nothing wrong with marrying up because you love the guy and he happens to have more money than you, I do think that a lot of people are rebranding gold digging as, I'm already old money in my mind, I just need to marry rich so that I can match that to how I actually see myself. And outside of the obvious issues with gold digging, this is also just a dating strategy that's not going to work out for everyone. I don't like these delusion calculators, but under 5% of men in the general dating age pool make six figures. And that's just six figures in this economy. It goes down to under 1% if you up that to $250,000 a year, which is probably still not the lifestyle that these women have in mind. Not to mention this includes short guys, bald guys, and guys with girlfriends already. And ultimately this stems from not wanting to work, materialism, and trying to use a partner to validate who you already believe you are in your head. I promise you're probably not just one date or one swipe away from Christian Grey or the heir to one of the wealthiest families in Singapore. You probably just desperately need a reality check.
A lot of the frustration comes from inflated expectations meeting low accountability. Everyone wants more effort, more value, more perfection, but very few are asking what they're actually bringing to the table. That imbalance creates constant disappointment.
Let's be so for real, these men don't stand a chance in dating because women turn everything into a red flag. He didn't text back fast enough, red flag. He doesn't text enough, red flag. He doesn't call me enough, red flag. He fell asleep and took a nap and I didn't hear from him for 3 hours, red flag. He breathed the wrong way, red flag. He's existing, red flag. Everything is always something even when it's nothing. And when he says it's nothing, that's also a red flag because he's lying. You'll hear some dumb shit online about, oh, you can tell a man is toxic by the way he smiles. So now you're looking at your man based on some dumb shit that you saw on the internet. Oh, he's smiling the wrong way. That means he doesn't like me. Y'all leave no room for these men to make any kind of mistakes. Women will literally make up entire storylines about men that they don't even know just to validate their own insecurities and then get online and say all men are trash. You're turning a golden retriever man who has no issues into a wolf based off your past experiences. And then you expect the new man, the good man, the better man to take on all of these challenges with grace when you are the fucking problem. How are you going to be able to go into a relationship looking for a good human being when you're already looking at him as if he's your ex-fucking boyfriend who cheated on you and he deserves to be treated like shit based on what somebody else did to you? And how do you expect these men to still want to date you when you literally turn everything into a problem? Everything is a red flag. Everything that he's doing is toxic. It's not good enough. It's poor behavior and you're never satisfied. Make it make sense. Okay, bye.
Social media didn't help either. It turned dating into a highlight reel where everyone thinks they deserve the top 1% experience. When reality doesn't match that fantasy, people assume something is wrong with the other side instead of recalibrating.
The problem with modern women is the feminist movement has ruined beauty standards. Look at these women. They look like men with hair under their arms. I'm not gay. I don't want to date a woman that looks like a man. So what I've started to do is date men who are trying to look like women. These men are more feminine than women are now. So because I'm not gay, I've started to date men exclusively. What are you doing after this podcast? I was about to ask you the same thing.
I'm all for women's rights and girl power, but we'd be lying if we thought it was not changing the landscape of dating. I can't tell you how many guys I've gone on dates with that are worried about opening a door for me because I might get offended. Literally, a guy had a girl get offended because he did that for her. Guys don't want to ask for our number. They don't want to pick us up for a date. They question whether or not they should pick up the tab because they're worried that women are going to get offended because some women out there get offended. So if you're the type of girl who wants to pick up her own tab, does not want the guy to open the door for you, then that's your prerogative. But don't mess it up for the rest of us who like a guy to be a gentleman and actually want to treat us well and open the door for us and do all those chivalrous things that are dead. Maybe there should just be a separate app for the women who want to be super independent and do their own thing, and then a separate app for the rest of us who want men to be genuine, who want to be chivalrous, who want to open the door. Put us somewhere else and separate us from the ladies who don't like any of that stuff. So for the guys out there that might be watching this video, just know that not all women want to be equal in absolutely every area of their lives, and that's okay. Some of us want the gentleman. We want to just take a step back and know that we don't have to do everything by ourselves, unlike what this generation is trying to make us all think and believe that we should be doing. I like to be treated like the lady that I am.
Validation has become the real currency. Likes, attention, options, it's all feeding into an environment where people are less focused on connection and more focused on being chosen. That shifts dating from partnership to performance.
The problem with modern dating is this. Because of the way society is, it has created a lot of women in their dominant masculine, which unfortunately attracts only one type of man, the wounded feminine. And these are the dynamics that we are seeing play out online, because the type of woman who is highly dominant and masculine, she has no problem voicing her opinion, sharing it online, and then that is the content that everyone is consuming. And so the good men, the healthy masculine, they don't realize that there are women who are soft, who have a balance between having masculine traits and feminine traits and knows when to turn it on and turn it off and just soften and let the masculine lead. They're not seeing any of that. So this is just me here telling you that there are healthy feminine women who exist, who are in fact waiting for you to show up and to lead them into the relationship they have always wanted. And if you want to understand where to find them and how to call them into your orbit, then hit that follow button, because I am sharing all the tips and tricks of the female brain and the psychology on how to call in a relationship that leaves you feeling respected, valued, seen, heard, and loved for you.
At the same time, commitment started to look risky. People see failed relationships, messy breakups, and legal or emotional fallout, and they hesitate. It's not always fear, it's pattern recognition.
And you gotta play hard to get, because men love the chase. They actually don't anymore, okay? They are not fucking with the chase anymore, let me tell you. Ladies, it has changed, okay? And look, I'm not actually unhappy about all of it. It's been ingrained in us as young women that not to be too easy, right? And that men love the chase, and that they're only going to want you if you don't want them, and you got to play hard to get it, right? And I've always thought it was bullshit, honestly. I don't want to. That takes too much work, you know? But now it's gone too far the other way, where they want us to literally do all the work instead. It is unfortunate that both men and women are getting fed horrible advice, horrible information from both sides, that's really honestly pitting us against each other. Let's just literally treat both men and women the same, like how we want to be treated, equally, and I think we'll be good, right? People inflate this idea of men and women are so different to be really something that it's not. Both men and women don't want people who cheat. We both don't want to do all of the work, right? It has to be 50-50, at least when it comes to effort. We both don't want to have to play hard to get. We both don't want people who gaslight us. Like, it's simple things. And I feel like this red pill and then a lot of the misandrist, stuff that women are getting shoved down their throats on TikTok that you might not even notice, but is subconsciously, leaking in. I think people aren't realizing how much that can actually affect. And then not only that, but how wrong it actually is.
There's also a growing mismatch in priorities. Some want stability, others want excitement, others want independence with benefits. When those goals aren't aligned from the start, things collapse fast.
The only thing you can expect from most black women are problems. Look at me. Look right in the camera. The only thing you can expect from most black women, and this is especially true as you get older, are problems that you are tasked to solve, that you are tasked to tolerate, that you are tasked to put up with in the name of the community. Now you're being selfish. Don't you dare ask, what's in it for me? Oh, then now you're selfish. Because relationships suggest reciprocity. Where's the reciprocity? Where is it? And the only thing that you can expect, black man, from black women is problem. Now, they're never going to admit it. Tonight's conversation is never going to admit it, but that's the truth. The only thing you can expect are problems. Not joy, not pleasure, not orgasmic bliss, not good times, not smiles, problems. Work. Be honest. When is the last time a black woman in your life was fun? That's the reason why we put it in the 5F conference. Fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun. When was the last time a black woman was fun? And be honest. Tell the truth and shame the devil. When's the last time you saw a black woman in your life that was fun? Most black women are work. They are. They're like a community cleanup project.
And instead of fixing these mismatches, most people double down on blaming. All men are this, all women are that. It's easier to generalize than to reflect, but it keeps the cycle going.
Here's a modern dating problem that a lot of women face. If aggressive career growth is a woman's goal, she now has to balance being masculine outside of the home with being feminine inside the home. As a wife and mother, a woman needs to be soft, tender, supportive, nurturing, and preferably on the younger side if she wants to have multiple children. As a successful employee trying to grow at whatever company she works for, she needs to be competitive, combative, assertive, disagreeable, and really can't afford to be distracted by the stresses of pregnancy and raising children in her early career path. Now, are there some careers that cater nicely to feminine traits? Sure. And can you make a good living and still effectively raise kids? Absolutely. My mom did it. But the more time a woman dedicates to growth in her career, the more likely she is to have those rough masculine traits ingrained in her personality. And if she can't turn off those traits when she exits the workplace and enters the home, she's not going to be the feminine woman that men generally need in a healthy relationship. And what makes it worse is that financial success and status does almost nothing to increase a woman's attractiveness to most men. So these women are pursuing something that not only doesn't increase their attractiveness, but might even decrease it if they can't flip that switch. That is why a woman's aggressive pursuit of a career is a red flag for men. Not a deal breaker, but a red flag. Men know that they're running the risk of having a very masculine woman as their life partner if that woman is hyper-focused on her own personal career growth. He's going to have a preference for your femininity over your masculinity. And if he decides not to pursue you to avoid that risk, he's not oppressive or misogynistic for doing so. He's simply exercising his preferences and looking out for his own long-term happiness.
Another issue is the constant evaluation culture. Everyone feels like they're being tested, compared, and ranked. That pressure kills authenticity and replaces it with calculated behavior.
Men always tell me that women are the problem in dating, and women always tell me that men are the problem in dating. So why don't we compare both sides so that everyone hears what it's like for the other gender? Men often have to swipe a lot just so they can get a match, and then they have to be agonizing over reaching out, making sure that they say something that sets them apart from the rest, and then having to make the first move and know when to judge that. Versus women are getting an onslaught of men coming at them, and usually that follows with a lot of bullshit like dick pics, disrespectful come-ons. I've even had a guy ask me if I could be his toilet slave once. I was like, no. Men are predominantly judged by social and financial status, where women are usually judged by appearances. So that could mean if you don't have that much money, you could be overlooked, or if you're not the hottest girl in the room, you could be overlooked as well. And think about sex. If a man doesn't have a lot of experience, then that's looked down on. But if a woman has too much experience, then that's looked down on too. So as you can see, both genders have it difficult for different reasons. So let's just be nice to each other, not blame the other gender, and understand it's just bad people with bad habits that we're truly upset with.
The result? Burnout. People are tired of trying, tired of performing, tired of feeling like they're not enough. So they withdraw, not always out of bitterness, but out of exhaustion.
One of the biggest problems with dating today is a lot of women are delusional. A lot of women think they look better than they really are, and a lot of women think that they better than they really are as far as personality-wise. I'm a catch. A man would be lucky to have me, and that's exactly why you're single and you don't have a man, because you believe that any and every man will be lucky to have you. If you bring it down a notch, maybe you can see your flaws just like every other man can, and that's why they're not taking you serious. And once you can see those flaws, you can work on becoming a better person for not just yourself, but the person who will eventually be with you. If you think that you're perfect all the time, there's no accountability. There's no room for growth. And that is a lot of these girls' problem. They mask their insecurities with makeup and lace fronts and eyelashes and eyebrows and all these different things. And they never grow to be a beautiful woman that God intended for them to be, which is very sad.
And when enough people pull back at the same time, the entire system slows down. Less effort, less trust, less willingness to invest. That's where the dating is broken narrative really comes from.
Broken women are the reason why dating and relationships are complete and total shit right now. Instead of laying on someone's couch to go heal, they rather run to the internet looking for validation from other broken women. Broken women are unlovable. You can't love a broken woman. You ladies went on this marketing propaganda, wrote countless articles about how men are so lonely because women have options and men need to raise their standards, this, that, and the third, right? But what I find kind of interesting is I see so many videos of women crashing the fuck out because they're not in a relationship. I see countless videos of women crying because they don't have any friends. They don't have anybody to hang out with. They don't have nobody to talk to. They're turning 30 and they're so alone. I go into the comment section of married couples who make videos that says, hey, these are the things that they do for each other and how they express love for each other. And whenever a woman speaks and say, hey, this is what I do for my man, this is how I express love for my man, I go into the comment section and it's nothing but women in the comment section talking about, you're a pick-me, which I think is so fucking stupid. How you gonna call a married woman a pick-me? Bitch, she's picked already. So they're up in the comment section talking about, I could never. This ain't the 1950s. I mean, all sorts of egregious comments about how a woman is expressing love and respect for her husband. Then it's videos of women talking about, to my married friends, is it possible that you could send your husband over to my place and he could just do some things and you can come over and we could drink wine? I'm like, why don't you get your own man? It's not like that. It's not like I want him. And everybody with common sense and two eyes knows that she wants your man. She definitely wants your man. Then every time a guy who lets it be known he's married posts something on the internet and he is conventionally attractive, go into the comment section. Can your wife fight? Can your girlfriend fight? It's like, you hoes really did try to push this propaganda that it's men who are desperate for a relationship. It's men who are the most loneliest demographic. It's not. Y'all the one who's projecting. Y'all the ones who are extremely lonely. And let's not forget your standards. You absolutely have no standards because a lot of you do not have a personality and you bring absolutely no value to a relationship. You're a permanent side chick. You're a permanent situationship, and you have to lead with your body. And that's why a lot of y'all walk around naked with all your lady bits out and your breasts all out. And you have to lead with your body and your sexuality because you have nothing to offer in a relationship. The men have said it countless times, but y'all try to gaslight time. I dress for myself. Really? Y'all make it so obvious that you bring no value to any type of relationship. And this is why y'all come up on Al Gore's internet and make relationships extremely transactional. Well, if I have to give up the cat, then he needs to go ahead and pay me and pay for my lifestyle, this and third. And I'm just like, is that how y'all view relationships? For all that, you might as well just be a 304 and make a career out of it. And then when a guy rejects you and say, hey, you're not for me because y'all wear your red flags like a billboard. A lot of you are walking massive red flags. Me personally, and I've said this with my son, broken women are unlovable. You cannot drink from a broken cup. You cannot eat from a broken plate. You cannot love a broken woman. Especially a woman who does not want to heal. She is unlovable. You're offended, die mad. Because when that guy rejects you, the very first thing that comes out of your mouth is, oh, he must be gay. Like, y'all do not want to take the personal responsibility and accountability to make it seem like the reason why so many dudes don't want to fuck with you, so many dudes don't want you to be a girlfriend, don't want to wife you up, and that the only thing you're good for is a fucking a dump is because there's something fundamentally wrong with you. It's one thing if it's one dude that does it. Chop it up and charge it to the game. But when you're getting ran through by 10 or more people, and it's the same repetitive thing over and over again, sweetheart, the problem is you. The problem is you. My ex is a narcissist. I'm a victim. I'm a survivor of TV. You're broken, boo. You're not lovable. And a lot of y'all have such a nasty, negative ass attitude. People sense that. People definitely sense it. But you're the victim, right? This is why I said broken women are not lovable. Broken women are not worth the time of day. Because hurt people always hurt people. I said what I said. If you're offended, die mad.
The uncomfortable truth is that modern dating reflects modern values, individualism, convenience, and constant options. Until those are balanced with accountability and realism, the cycle won't change.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but feminism destroyed the dating world. And of course, I'm not talking about women having rights. I'm talking about what it did to relationships. Let me explain. I don't know if you noticed, but women didn't become stronger. We just became tired. The insane part to this is that most women don't even want that life. They just don't trust that a man will show up, so they already act like nobody's going to. For example, a girl will literally like a guy, want him to lead, but the moment he tries to do something for her, she's like, nope, I can do it myself. Okay, queen. And then you cry later, asking why men don't step up. Girl, it's because you told him you don't need him. And men, they don't invest where they're not needed. Now men are like, fine, be independent, pay your own everything. And women are like, why are men so bare minimum now? Because we told them to sit down for 15 years. We told women, don't rely on a man. And we told men, if you provide, you're controlling. And now everyone is awkward as hell, trying to date with zero understanding of roles. It's not about submission or dominance. It's about balance. Two humans can't both be I got me and only me mode and expect intimacy. In my opinion, feminism ruin the trust in between men and women. So because everyone's on defense, no one's building anything. And while I deeply understand why women wanted to do everything on their own, trust me, I really do. What I don't understand is if you really don't trust men and you want to have your own, and let's say you got your own, you are a CEO, you can pay all your bills, you can do everything, you don't need a man, then why are you still dating a man? So why, after all this money, you still have a man? Why are you still dating a man? Because if you done all these things and you don't want to deal with a man, then I get it. I understand why you did it. What I don't understand is why you dating a man. Why are you doing the 50-50 thing? Why are you split? Like, what's the point of having a relationship? Like, what is the idea? Make me understand, because I don't get it. Anyways, The goal of feminism was never to become a man. The goal was to be safe with one. And if you wanted to become the man, that's fine. But then what are you doing next to one? Bye, bestie.
At the end of the day, it's not about one side being the problem. It's about a system where everyone's optimizing for themselves and wondering why connection keeps failing.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.